Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Matt. I'm a licensed clinical therapist and certified sex therapist. Recently, I did a video on the top 10 green flags to look out for in a relationship, remembering that green flags are positive, good qualities in a partner and things that you want to turn to and look for when starting a relationship. So I thought I should probably do a video on the top 10 red flags to look out for in a relationship. So what is a red flag? A red flag is an action or behavior to look out for in a relationship. It is something that a partner does that makes you pause or take a step back and reevaluate, is this somebody that I want to continue dating? So while they are a little bit different than, let's say, deal breakers, which are run and get out of there, a red flag is something for you to just sit with and monitor throughout a relationship. So what are my top 10 red flags? Well, let's get into them. Number one, first and foremost, a red flag to look out for would be if a partner starts love bombing. What love bombing is when they just start showering you with love and affection in a way to influence or manipulate you to their side of things. Love bombing can also look like after an argument or a fight, instead of taking responsibility, they are just showering you with affection. Why this is an issue is because they're not taking responsibility. They're just trying to manipulate you over onto their side so that you two can move past whatever argument occurred. Number two, they describe their exes as crazy. Why this is something to look out for is because if somebody has spent time dating another person and it ends, that is tragic and it's awful, but most likely why it ended, if it was a consensual, non-abusive relationship, was because two people just couldn't make it work. So if your partner is going around saying that the exes they dated were crazy and insane, that's something to look out for. Why is this person I'm starting to get in a relationship with shaming their ex? What actually is going on or was going on in that relationship? Next, they are rude to people in the service industry. This is pretty straightforward in the fact that you want to date somebody who is empathetic. Going back to the top 10 green flags, one of them was they have empathy and they look at other people and not try to belittle them in any way. Not only outside of the service industry, but in general, if somebody is looking down on another person, what does that tell you about their inner thoughts? Is there an insecurity there? Why are they being so rude to these individuals who are just trying to help? So watch out for that. Next red flag to look out for is how they express their anger. If they express it in damaging ways, that's something to consider. If my partner is going around punching walls or breaking things, I want to be on the lookout of what is making them get to that point, that escalation, which they are not only harming objects, but they are harming themselves. That can be really problematic because who knows what that means for the future. What is going on in their head that they can't get control of their anger and that they have to have this intense, strong, and damaging outlet? 5, this is a pretty big one, and I see this a lot in relationships. They put you down, they belittle you, and then they say, it was just a joke. Nothing is ever just a joke in this world. Truly, right? If I'm going and I'm saying, you're stupid, you're awful, that decision that you made was dumb, but I'm just joking, we call that a cop-out. It's basically saying, I can say what I want, and then I'm just gonna gloss over it and say that I was just kidding. This can be problematic because not only are they avoiding trying to have a potentially deeper conversation about their feelings, but also they're harming you with their words, and that's making you then question yourself in some way. Next up, they gaslight you. This is a pretty common one, and in fact, this could also fall into the category of a deal breaker as well. But gaslighting is essentially they are not taking any responsibility for any of their actions and they're blaming you for everything. Please watch out for that. Next up, they hold prejudices. They engage in discrimination. Why I consider that a red flag is because if somebody has such strong negative beliefs about people or groups that are different from them, then I'm wondering what is stopping them from then carrying that out into the relationship. What if you have a friend that is part of a minority group? How is that then going to play a role in your relationship? Are they then going to start trying to be controlling in some way, not have you see these individuals, put you in an awkward situation of choosing one or the other, belittling your friends? It can be a pretty slippery slope. Next up, a red flag to look out for is they respond poorly when you're just trying to take time for yourself. A comment on codependency, right? One of the goals within relationships is to somehow form codependency. I want to be able to rely on my partner, and my partner should be able to rely on me. We should become dependent on one another. But the problem is sometimes that dependency takes us to that point where then we are so entrenched in our relationship that we're losing our individuality. If you find that your partner responds pretty negatively to you wanting to engage in individual actions, that is a red flag. Remember, as individuals, we take care of ourselves as best as we can so that we can show up to our relationship. Try to sit down and have conversations about why the independence to you is important, and you need to take time to yourself to recharge your batteries. Number 9, they are unreliable and inconsistent. This is pretty straightforward. In relationships, we talk about a trust equation. Words plus action over time equals trust. If I tell my partner, I'm going to be home at 7:30, I'm going to try my best to be home at 7:30, and if I'm not, I'm going to send a text letting him know I'm going to be a little late. If I cannot be consistent, if I cannot be reliable, then trust is really hard to build, and relationships can then be on unsteady ground. And last but not least, they need constant reassurance. Now, I'm not telling you to be rude or cruel or not show any empathy, but there's something to be said about an individual who cannot self-regulate their emotions and needs constant validation to feel secure. This is taking a lot of energy out of the relationship, and it can put you in a position of feeling extremely drained. So pay attention to how much attention or energy or validation a partner needs. As we wrap up, remember, red flags are something to be monitored. They're not deal breakers. If you find that a partner is inconsistent, if you find that they are rude to service industry individuals, if you find that they lack empathy or they're love bombing you, it's not that you have to end the relationship. Just sit and have a conversation with them. And if needed, go seek out a couples therapist. Work on those communication skills, work on building empathy, I feel statements. All of this can lead to processing a red flag. All right, thanks everyone for watching this video. Please subscribe and like. I love making these videos. I love creating this sex positive content. And by you liking and commenting and subscribing, it helps me continue to push towards my message of creating more sex positivity in this world and, quite frankly, providing that sex education that we all need. Until next time.